Welcome to A-Side Boxing. I'm one of your hosts, Marlon Parker, alongside with Ray Massey and Carlos Massey. This evening, we have the honor and pleasure of bringing to you former heavyweight contender, and let's not forget 36-0 with 29 knockouts, Joe Mesi Jr. How's it going, Joe?
It's going great, Marlon. Gentlemen, it's good to be here, and congrats on your podcast success. It's an honor to be a part of it.
Oh, no, it's an honor to have you here. I don't want to come off overly effusive, but it is an honor to have you. Seriously, we watched you growing up. We watched your fights, and just to have you here, you know, Ray's all tingly inside. Carlos holds it a bit more, but no, this is an honor. So, Joe, tell us. We know your story. We watch you. We're fans. We'll get into it. Just tell us a little bit about how you came up.
You know, Marlon, it's odd because I never really had aspirations to be a boxer. There was some boxing history in my family.
Yes.
My grandfather, who's now gone, he was a Buffalo police officer. In his childhood, he was a Golden Glove champion here in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. His son, which would be my uncle, my dad's brother, was a Golden Glove champion in Buffalo. Now, these are the days, you know, these are the 30s and the 50s and 60s. These are the days when boxing has a very popular, very rich history, certainly in Buffalo, New York. Golden Gloves would sell out, a 16,000 person arena. That's how popular and important the sport was in that time frame. So we had boxing in our family, and I was always interested. I loved hearing their stories. I loved reading their clippings. They had clippings they saved, and so I was drawn to it. Never thought I'd do it.
Yeah, well, that's how it is. Sometimes you find out you love something. You know, you don't know how you end up there, but you do.
Yeah. Listen, man, I was the youngest in the family, baby Joe. Mm-hmm. So I mean, even with my cousins, I was the baby. So I was a chubby, late maturing, tough kid, athletic baby. I played sports. All of the attention was on my brother. And even cousins that were taller and mature and athletic and tough. None of the attention for athletic, that was not on me. I was just the kid that pinched his cheeks and said hello. And I was the cute little kid. So I think I have surprised a lot of people, even my classmates from middle school and high school, for me to turn out to be a professional boxer and a fairly successful one at that. So I think I surprised a lot of people, because it's just not my personality.
Okay. Yeah. You know, Joe, that's typical. You know, you find in boxing, some of the fighters that enter the sport have an unusual origins, right? And so in your case,
that's a good point.
Yeah. Your mom, she didn't really want you to do this, right? And and what's your first thing? I think she wanted you to go into law, correct?
Oh yeah, you know, I was a decent student. Wanted me to stay away from that sport,
which is an even dirtier sport. Let me tell
you. Maybe so, yeah. But I just, I played football all my life. I was a wrestler. I played baseball. I even played in high school, and I was good. I was never the star. All of that attention went to my older brother and my friends. I just played because it was fun. And keep in mind, I was always the youngest in my class. I was late to mature. I mean, like puberty was like 12th grade. I'm not even kidding, man. I was really late. I was severely late. And
a week late.
I mean, it was embarrassing. So
this is like morning.
So I think because I was so almost immature physically, sometimes in a way mentally and immature, I had to hang with bigger, tougher, older, more athletic guys. All since Little League, I've just always been with tougher, bigger guys, and I think it maybe made me who I am as far as like my toughness and ability, because later on, after high school, when I started boxing, I could sure take a beating, you know. I didn't mind it, you know. I just I expected it almost. I was kind of had this toughness. I had no skill. I wasn't a skillful fighter at the beginning. That credit goes to my trainers, Juan De Leon and Carlos Sugar De Leon. They had to teach me all of that. I was just relatively athletic and had a toughness about me that we infused some boxing in.
Oh, that's yeah.
So,
That's,
so
Yeah.
Joe, were you surprised at how much success you had once you started fighting after high school, and just how fast you just rose through the ranks?
I was surprised because when I think of the amateurs, now listen, I just started. I thought I'd get my little USA boxing card and fight a couple fights to see what my grandfather and uncle had experienced. I thought that'd be cool. My dad was proud of me because I'd probably get my butt kicked. I just thought I'll get a few amateur fights here locally, some cigar club shows. Well, I won a handful of fights. And then the Golden Gloves is coming around. I told my brother and my dad, I go, this will be fun. I'm going to get my butt kicked, but I'm going to try it. I might as well try. And I went and I won it. And I won it like 3-4 years in a row. And I'm getting write-ups and stuff like that. I'm like, what's going on? This is kind of surprising. And what's funny was, when you win the Golden Gloves, you qualify for the national Golden Gloves.
yes.
And, they get the all expense paid. And I thought, oh my God, I'm getting flown to Dallas. Or this is so crazy. It's like those 5 or 6 night tournaments, as an amateur. I figured I'll be home in a night. I'm just going there for the trip. I'll be back in one night. I'll be getting my butt kicked. But here I won every night. And here I am in the finals. And every time I'd win, I'd come out of the ring. It was almost quiet, the auditorium. They'd be like, man, and I heard so much, like, who he just beat? I'd be like, who did I just beat? Like, you don't know him? Like, no, I don't even know. Like, the guy's been around for years. Like, I think not knowing going in probably helped me. So I kind of surprised a lot of people, including myself, because I'm beating guys that they had a lot of time and money invested in. And
Exactly.
so I think, and at that point, it wasn't really much skill. That was just because I had a little toughness about me. Certainly, as I look back at my amateur films, I certainly wasn't very good. But I worked hard though. I had to.
And just transitioning from the amateurs to the pro. In one of your interviews years ago, I don't want to date myself, but it was a while ago. You commented on how you noticed, there was a certain amount of introspection where you noticed every single fight, the De Leon brothers, they gave you a new wrinkle, and you could see yourself coming. You actually noticed the change with every new fight, and I thought that was interesting.
I agree, and I did say that I'm blessed to have, as we got more serious and transitioning to the pros, and all right, we're gonna take this leap. We're gonna try this. You only live once, and let's see how far I can take it.
Okay.
Bob Spagnola, my agent, and my father really took the management role, and then the De Leon brothers, late Miami, they came involved, and my team just kind of formed incredibly. And I was thinking back the other day, like how it formed, and it was just a blessing because I really needed the De Leons because, Juan's got 2 Puerto Rican champions now. He's still involved. He's in Puerto Rico, but and his brother was the world champion, but Juan is the coach. Juan is brilliant, still think, I don't think I could coach him. I could learn real good, but I can't. He's got a coaching gift. And I saw myself progressing a little bit, and I took a slow route as a young pro. I even got criticized. I was 14, 15. When's Mesi going to fight someone? And I got a little tired of hearing that. But I kind of knew myself. I knew that I had to take things slow, and the amateur time went very fast. So what we did right. I figured we did it right, and I was able to progress and continue to learn, thanks to the De Leon brothers.
I know you talk about your team, but really it was you that the fans would love because you were actually referenced. I saw a video clip where they were referencing you as like New York's 3rd franchise.
The 3rd franchise. The 3rd
Talk
franchise.
about that, man.
It's still a nickname, and it's still a nickname. Now the Bills are going to be Super Bowl champions, I think. But the Bills are the talk of the town right now, and the Buffalo Sabres, our hockey team, and then there was Baby Joe, the 3rd franchise. But again, that part of the credit has to go to my father, who was a police officer, but he had this marketing. My dad didn't know anything, he couldn't train box. He didn't know anything about boxing, but I'll tell you, he knows how to market. And what my dad did here locally to me, I should say, late in the 1990s, he started getting me involved. I didn't even understand. I was too young and too busy and too occupied or too mature to understand that. I started going to children's hospital events. I started going to the Roswell Park Cancer Institute. I started going to fundraising events. After I was co-hosting the morning AM Buffalo, the TV show, our local little TV, I started doing little things like that on TV. Teaming up with Jim Kelly, who was our quarterback at the time and a friend of mine, and doing some things around the community. In a sense, I was almost bothered by it. Like, man, I'm trying to train. But I saw what he was doing. And not only that, it made me learn the importance of doing it. You know what I mean? Because boxing is the gift God gave me. It's really the tool he gave me. The gift is to really maybe help others. So boxing is just the sport and the tool he gave me to talk to kids, encourage kids, raise some money, do whatever I can locally here.
And usually that's the way with all of our God-given talents. You find a way how God uses you to help others.
I agree. Later on, the boxing I developed a foundation to raise awareness for organ donation. To this date, man, I haven't put on gloves in 14 years. I get postcards and letters. We watched you. We donated my family's organs. Holy cow! I'm getting these letters out of state. And I don't even go near boxing anymore. But it's if that was the reason God gave me that gift, then I'll take it.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So going into you had some exciting fights, a lot of knockouts, heavy hands, right? So how did it feel when you got that information about you having a subhematoma? I know you love boxing. How did it feel? What was going through your head when you found out that?
It was difficult because at the time, you got to picture me, I'm pretty well educated on head injuries now and well read. It's what I've done. And I'm actually in the medical field now. I sell to neurosurgeons. I kind of know a little bit about it. But then you got to keep in mind, I was totally blind. I had no idea. And I just thought, oh, geez, I didn't know it was a rule that if you had a bleed or a hemorrhage, that you're not allowed to fight. So I kind of was learning as I was going along, but it's really how it was leaked that was kind of unusual, and that's kind of what my lawsuit was about.
Exactly.
People found out about this almost the day I did, and it was kind of that's getting a little back into it. But I kind of as I look at it now, the way things played out, it was a gift. It was a gift because I'm here and I'm healthy, and I took some time off. Now, look, who knows what would have happened if after that Giraffe fight, I was going to fight Mike Tyson here in Buffalo, and that was going to be less than 90 days later. That was we were talking, that was coming. So I don't know. I mean, I would have had to start sparring immediately. I had to start staying in shape, and so that didn't happen because of my suspension. So who knows what would have happened? Maybe that was the best thing that happened to me.
Yeah. Did you feel anything though? You had any indication something was going on, or you just got the information from the doc?
No. Look, I knew after that Giraffe fight, I knew in the locker room that this was a little different. We've all been knocked down. We've all been, I don't care who 7-time world champions in spar. We've all had our bell rung. I don't care who we are. This was a little different than what I was used to. So I kind of don't have much memory of the few days later. I spent a few days in Vegas after that. I don't have much memory of that. And coming home, and I took it upon myself to see my doctor and a neurosurgeon here locally who identified. The commission cleared me post-fight, which means they are no longer responsible for me once I'm out of that building.
Exactly.
They cleared me. I was not Nevada's responsibility anymore. I mean, ignorant, kind of wrongly, they cleared me. They look in your eyes real quick and say, okay, and tap you on the ass and say to go. I mean, and when clearly something was wrong, I couldn't even dress myself. So I saw my own doctor, and I think those records were leaked, and that news was leaked. But look, it happened. I can't look back. It may have saved my life.
Yes.
I do know this as a younger. Look, I'm softened now. I got a wife and some babies running around. I got, I'm
We all
softened
do.
now. But
Yes.
back then, I didn't have that, and I worked so hard, and I'm knocking on the door of my title opportunity, and I wanted to fight it, and I wanted to find out more. I didn't necessarily think I could fight tomorrow because I know I need rest. I need to rest. I need whatever this is. I need to research. I need to recover. I need to be my best again. I mean, I wasn't necessarily fighting it, but I didn't like the way the news was leaked. I also didn't like someone saying, "You're not fighting in this state ever again." Well, you haven't even talked to a doctor or me or anybody. You just said no. It can't be that black and white. I don't think it can't be a blanketed rule like that. There are brain bleeds, and there are brain bleeds. There are. I mean,
Yeah, there's varying
so
degrees of brain bleeds. Some will recur, and others, that's it.
if you're telling me a fighter at the contender level has not had a brain bleed, I mean, they have to change the rules to. I mean, with these MRIs, they're expensive MRIs, but maybe there needs to be more frequent MRIs. Maybe there needs to be MRIs after the fight instead of before. What the hell's an MRI before the fight doing? That don't mean nothing. So I don't know what the rule changes could be. I don't have that kind of legislative mind to really create the rules, but they have to change. Because if you're telling me, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Canelo, and De La Hoya, some of the greatest names in the world haven't had a brain bleed, you're crazy if you think that. Of course they have. We all have. I mean, it's just the nature of the sport. So you can't just say when you find out, or but I think they are lightening up on the ruling now. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think they have changed some of that rules and legislation, and I think they might be handling it case by case now. I've read that anyway, but I could be wrong.
Well, everything is case by case now, and depending
Yeah,
on
well,
how
yeah.
big of a star you are.
Right. Sure.
Exactly. No, just going back to that, when your license was revoked, suspended, you were in probably one of the greatest times of heavyweight boxing. There were Lennox Lewis, he had retired, I think, in 2003, but there was Tyson, Rockmont, Tony, Bird, Holyfield, Larry Donald, Riddick Bowe. All of these guys were fighting around the same time. And so I heard your disappointment, upon reflection. That's obviously who wouldn't be. Your opportunity was right there. You beat Giroff. Only one person had beaten Giroff before that. That was James Lights Out Tony. You were on that trajectory where you went from fighting in Madison Square Garden and Mandalay Bay to going through this fight with the commission, and now you're on the fairgrounds. Now you're at casinos, but you're still a big draw.
Well, it's funny. I just saw that Tony Giroff fight. Man, that's one of the best fights. That Tony, remember that Tony Giroff? Holy cow!
He softened them up for you.
I don't think I see it. I think I remember watching it live and nearly going, "Holy cow!" I had no idea I'd be fighting Giroff like that. That's a great fight. Yeah. But what's interesting about all that? Every fighter, man, they want to get to Madison Square Garden. They want to get to MGM and Mandalay Bay. That's our goal as fighters. And I did that, and I'm blessed, and I'm so happy. It's my greatest memories. But I didn't need those places. I had Buffalo, New York. You know what I mean? So those were great pays. My money was made here in Buffalo. My fan base was here in Buffalo. So the Mandalay Bay and MSG, you can keep all that. I just, if I could fight, but I can't without a New York State license. Mm-hmm. So without the Nevada license, I don't want to say they're in cahoots together, but Nevada and New York, they're the two states. And what one does, the other's going to do. And I get it. Listen, I get it. Mm-hmm. Those are two states. They weren't having it. They weren't having me. Yeah. So maybe Joe, without New York, without Buffalo, what am I? And I said, I'm not a superstar. I don't have that kind of legacy. I am who I am because of the Buffalo people, because of the type of community and that we have here. It is a very loving community. It's a small community, man. We're one of the smallest cities with an NFL and NHL team, and we love these teams. We love each other as a community. I mean, we had a terrible tragedy this week, but I mean, you got to see the outpouring of support that's taken place this week after that. I mean, it makes you tear up. This community is special. And I'm telling you, they would have came to watch me play tennis, play badminton. They would had boxing and nothing to do it. They came because I'm from Tonawanda, New York. They came because I live here. They don't care what I was doing. I mean, they came to support me, and that's why I love this city, and that's why I'll stay here forever. But again, that's kind of what's unique about this, you know. And after the injury, and after we won, Marlon, you'll understand. After we kind of won this for 2 years, I went back and forth to Nevada.
Motions after motions.
Hearing, and we got to go for a hearing. And we repeated as a hearing, another hearing, a hearing. Went like 5 times. And finally, really what it was just a loophole. Was that the judge was like, you know, here we are suspending a fighter that isn't even licensed. His license expired like a year and a half ago. So how are we suspending a gentleman when he doesn't have a valid license? So I guess he is right. He's going to say, look, you're free as an unlicensed fighter to apply in any state you want. It's to each state's discretion whether they permit you or not. So I kind of understood that, knowing before I even left that room, Nevada's a hard no. Nevada and New York are a hard no.
Waste of paper.
But you know what? You know what I hear in this story, and it's one of the things that I'm pretty sure you'll agree. There was a valuable lesson in all of this. I think I see growth. I see just hearing your story, I'm inspired by it because, you know, like myself, I was in a fight before, and I was in the USABF semifinals, and I won the fight, but in the fight I got hit, and I swear I did not know my name for at least about an hour. And it was a scary feeling because, you know, here it is. Yeah, I got people asking me what my name is, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know. And the funny, nothing's more chilling than not knowing who you are. And some people are talking to you like they can't believe what you're saying. Needless to say, I got suspended with the after that fight. Even though I won, I got suspended. And I feel that kind of that upsetness where, you know, that's still upset, you know, where you were. When they told you couldn't fight anymore, like, who are you? I'm a fighter.
To deny
you know
that opportunity.
Yeah. So I can relate, man, and kudos to you, man, because you went on to do bigger and better things outside of the sport, and who knows, this probably was your path in the first place.
Exactly.
Well, I think it was my path. I mean, we only have so much to say in our paths, you know what I mean? And I'm grateful that God gave me that little 15, 20 minutes there of boxing, because I just love this sport. I love the sport.
You do too.
I have fallen in love with the sport. I have fallen in love with like the brotherhood of us as athletes, and I have not fallen in love with the business.
Yeah.
Business.
Who likes the business?
People, you know, I don't know if it's getting better because I'm a little removed, but people tell me, do you still watch it? Are you still involved? Man, I probably fall asleep to it 2-3 nights a week. My wife's laying next to me. I got her loving it, but I'll watch. I mean, I will always watch boxing. I don't care if it's past, present, live. Involved in the sport? No, I don't. I don't have much involvement, and I think there's reason for that. I don't know how this makes me sound. First of all, I wouldn't be a good trainer. Man, tell me, even my popularity in Buffalo, even still, like, people ask me, I was pumping gas yesterday. Don't you have a gym? My kid, I get asked so much. Maybe I missed my calling to, I don't know, be wealthier with a gym. So I don't know. I don't have any, I don't need it.
Exactly. That's it.
I don't need it. I love it, but maybe that's not true needing it, because a little bit I need it. But I want to go on to do other things. I don't want to necessarily hang my hat on it. That's what people remember me. I'm still Baby Joe, but I do have more. I want to think I have more to offer.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I want to think that my life's going to continue, and I want to think that I'll be able to give back in other ways too. And I've kind of found that way, but it's not totally true because what I've kind of missed, and this is a little bit of a leak because I think I want to start promoting and marketing boxing again. And I've talked to ESPN,
Really?
talked to Triller, and they want to come to Buffalo. They want to come back to Buffalo. So we might do some world class boxing. It might be Triller. I don't know. All I want is I want world class boxing. I want world title fights. If I'm going to do this, I'm bringing TV cameras and I want world championship fights. We'll do some local talent, of course, but I want to do it and do it right. You know?
Well, it's breaking news. We've heard it here first.
Yeah.
It is.
We're to the
And I wouldn't do it with anyone but my good friend Tony Holden. Tony Holden was my promoter for many years, and you know he's busy. He's got Jake Paul. I mean, Tony Holden pretty much owns all these dates on TV from Bob Arum, and so Tony Holden and I have been communicating, and we might do something. I don't know, you know, this town of Bill's crazy, but we might do something if we could do something again this year. And look, I'm not trying to be Don King. If I could do a couple of years here in Buffalo, because people need something different to do, especially after COVID, and see some live boxing. And I'm not looking to sell out 20,000 seats, but if I could do 3,000-4,000 seats with some TV cameras and showcase some local talent, then yeah, I want to get back involved.
So tell us, you've got to notify us as soon as you make the decision, as soon as you we're going.
Well, since you're the first person I'm telling, then
there we go. So
knows.
now we get to the part where we ask 3 basic questions of everyone. First, what was your proudest moment as a professional? Your most memorable moment? These are rapid fire. Don't give us too much thought.
Yeah, man,
No.
Well, if we're going to talk about the fight nights, again, it's hard to say. I just mentioned that, man. I couldn't believe I got almost a night in Madison Square Garden HBO. I couldn't believe I had a night in Mandalay Bay and MGM. But the win against Deverell Williams in Buffalo,
that's a whole
that win.
We knew you
that
were
win. that when having, we had ESPN Friday Night Fights here a couple times, 18,000 people. That night, I think it was close to 20,000 people on HBO. And all the fights downtown Buffalo were great. But that night was special to me. You know why it was really special to me? It wasn't even, it was
I
Buffalo.
know why. We've done our research. We had you up under his wing for so long. When you watch him as he's in the ring, there's no sweat on him. It's like, it's just another night. I'm going to walk through, baby Joe. This is over. And
I thought when Deverell, Deverell and I were very close in the 90s as amateurs, and he is a wonderful guy, man. He's a great guy. He brought me up. He taught me everything as an amateur. When I got to the U.S. national team, he had already been there, and he had been traveling a while. I was new to that. I was the new guy. We were spar partners. The super heavyweight spar.
Yes.
Man, Deverell knocked me down more times. Deverell beat me up so much. And back in 90, 96, 95, 94. I mean, for years. And he was great. We were good friends. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about a lot of fighters. They don't change.
Yes.
They don't progress. I mean, I had no choice.
Yeah.
And I knew at that time, years later, I'm like, I know Deverell is at home signing this piece of paper. Baby, oh my God, I beat that guy up, man, all the time. I just know that. And I saw his confidence coming to the ring last night. And I was scared, but that was a special win because I really saw that I'm a different person. I'm a different fighter,
All right, cool. Number 2, we already know your most challenging moment. We've spoke about it, probably hate to be presumptuous, but it's fair to say that going through that whole ordeal was the most challenging moment as a professional?
It was. As far as the boxing business goes, I lost my mother. Now losing my mother was during that. A few years prior to that was a challenge because I didn't know. I took some months off. I didn't really know how to grieve. Do I go back to train? Do I stay busy? Do I not? It was that was difficult for me. Losing my mother during my career, because right before she passed, she said, "I know you're gonna." She almost gave me her blessing.
Yeah.
She hated me boxing. She hated me boxing, but she almost gave me her blessing, which said, "Don't get hurt." And ultimately I did. But but listen, I got hurt, but I think she was looking over me because
I can identify.
But that the injury and all the drama that went with
Okay. And the last, what is your funniest moment as a professional?
Oh my God, my funniest moment. My funniest moment. I mean, there's so many
It has-
funny.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know if I could think of one that quickly because that's an excellent question that needs some time to think. But the memories that I have with this brotherhood of boxers, and
Yeah.
I think being in the 19, my funnest time in my boxing career, 1996 USA boxing team. I was an alternate, of course.
Yes.
That summer, we spent 2.5 months together. The Olympians, 12 Olympians, 12 alternates, 24 of us together, traveling. We went to England, we went to Germany. We came back, we fought in Portland, we went to Denver, right up till it was time to go to the Olympic. We got to know each other real well. It was the funnest. And when I say the funniest, look at man, I was the only Caucasian guy of 24 guys.
That's a whole nother show.
Hey,
And
Joe.
that's a whole other, and I'll tell you, but I don't know the sense of humor. Anthony Stewart. I don't know if you guys remember these names. Anthony Stewart and Lawrence Claybay, and of course Mayweather. Getting to know these guys,
Yeah.
I just my stomach hurt. That was just the funnest summer of my life, and some of the experiences. I mean, it's too long ago now to share
Yeah.
and get a laugh out of people. Some of the stories I can't even tell, but not supposed to tell. But
Yeah.
it's just it was the best time of my life.
Well, we want to thank you, Joe. This has been great. This is
My
A-Side
pleasure.
Boxing. We just would like for you to like, subscribe, and share. Again, we have Baby Joe Mesi. If Joe, could you give us a shout out before you go? We'll run this with it.
Absolutely, man. I'm going to be sharing this with any followers I have. But thank you to A-Side Boxing, man. You guys are the brightest and the best, and soon to be a very popular podcast. Thank you guys for having me. It was fun.
Thank you, brother. God bless, man. This
got
was
it.
great. All right, take care.
Thank you.